Okay, well, welcome everybody to How to Help Kids Make Connections in Math. We are super pumped to share with you different ways that Math Alive and Math Stackers help your kids engage with math in a way that really sticks. Um, we want to make sure we got so much to share with you guys, but I kind of want to stick to the dessert first because you could win one of these two prizes just for being here live and staying through the whole webinar. So stay to the end because we want to make sure you have a shot at winning a Math Thinker Plus or a Math Alive kit. These are our kind of flagship math products that we have. And we want you to win. But that's not only, we love giving stuff away. That's not all we're going to do. Because we learn best from each other, sharing ideas, asking questions, we are going to have some bonus prizes. So if throughout today's webinar and our time together, you're sharing your ideas, you're telling us what you see and observe in the chat. So there's that chat button down there. Fill that in, your comments and everything. And we also have a Q&A button down there. If you have any questions, pop them in that Q&A part, because at the end of the webinar, we're going to draw all these live. Okay. So stay on to the very end. That's 4 different winners. You have a big shot at winning today. You'll also get a PD certificate for staying for the full time. There are also 2 very important people, and if you were on earlier, as we were all kind of getting everything ready, you heard us mention LA from Math Alive and Cassie from Math Stackers. They are in that chat and the Q&A with you. They're excellent sources of information for Math Alive Studios or Math Alive and Math Stackers. So if we didn't get to your question immediately, they'll probably be helping answer that. And then if there are any questions that we didn't get to in the session, we will get to them in our live kind of wrapping everything up Q&A after the webinar is over. We'll just stay on. We want to make sure we answer your questions. And now, well, you probably, if you don't know who I am, I'm Kelly Threadgill. I'm the creator and CEO of Math Stackers. And it is my pleasure to introduce Cynthia Kay, my dear friend and ed tech innovator and chief zookeeper of Alive Studios Zoo. Cynthia and I have known each other for, I guess, almost a decade
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Scary.
did we meet? You remember? Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah. We were at a show, and it was sadly very boring. And nobody was coming to visit. Our, where did everybody go? I don't know. But we got to know each other, and that's how we met at a show. So it actually worked out. Got to hang out at your booth and learned all about. I loved what I loved about Kelly right off is her passion for making math fun because math was never really my thing. And I'm always trying to figure out how do you make something engaging. And Kelly made it look so fun. And we had this in common. So I love Kelly and she's great at what she does.
And Cynthia too. You're going to be, if you have never seen any of the Alive Studios products, you're going to be blown away by Math Alive and the augmented reality. It just brings math to life right there in your classroom. And we got to talk so much and we've talked tons over the last, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. I kind of forget how many years it's been now. But really where we align is this concept of the science of math. And this is a research-based approach to math instruction. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, maybe from a parent or even a kid? We've got, educators from all grade levels right now who said, I'm not a math person. I don't get math. I'm a reader only. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, well, I've probably even said that in my life, and I know I've heard it over and over again, but I am just very refreshed to know, and I've learned just through my career and studying math education that this is not true. This is a myth that I'm so glad has been debunked because the science of math says anybody can learn math. It is the process of learning. right? It emphasizing the language, that math talk, memory, and visual models. We are emphasizing reasoning connections, and all these build that lasting understanding. And that is where Math Alive and Math Stackers align, especially when creating these experiences for your kiddos. Our goals are we want you to be able to break down the concepts, right? They're not just memorizing, they are understanding each step of the way and how to make sense of math. We're creating space for them to make the connections, time to explore, and we're engaging them with curiosity. They are the ones who are asking the questions, they are testing their ideas, they're proving things right and wrong, they're self correcting. This is what math looks like. And it is so much fun for us to provide these resources, enhance these resources, and so on. Um, right now, we're going to take a little time just because we do have some people here. Maybe you've never even heard of Math Stackers, or maybe you haven't heard of Alive Studios and Math Alive. So we're going to introduce kind of our companies a little bit and what we're about. And then we're going to get to some awesome juicy classroom type stuff. We even have a guest speaker, Mr. Ben. You can see him up here, and he's going to come on live with us in a little bit. But I'll start. I taught for 10 years. I taught 8th grade, 4th grade, and 3rd grade. And through my career, it's kind of like that, what we were talking about with the science of math. I just experienced so many of my kiddos that had an apathy towards math. They didn't quite make the connections, especially I started in 8th grade. So by then, there were some serious gaps in learning. And I thought, man, what can I do to make math meaningful for them, make it make sense? And the answer was make it hands-on. So I brought in as many manipulatives as I could possibly find, use them in small group teaching. And over the years, I just wanted more. I wanted it to be obvious and a natural way for them to experience addition, subtraction, all the properties of math and how they're interrelated. And so I stuck everything that I wanted, measurement, all that kind of stuff, into one set of blocks. And you're looking at them right there on the screen. And when I saw how much my students' understanding grew using them, I thought this could help a lot of kids all over the country. And so I started Math Stackers. Here's a little bit more.
I think Math Stackers really maximizes children's discovery because it allows them to.
Oh. Did it stop? Do you guys hear the sound?
No sound, Kelly.
Yeah, it started with sound and then it.
Well, I
It's-
thought I was a big ding dong. So
Oh.
I thought that I was like, oh, I'll mute like
Oh.
my microphone so I don't like
No,
accidentally
don't
say
mute.
something. What a
It's okay.
So in case you were ever wondering if that works, the answer is it does not. It does
Right.
not work.
I think
So
Math Stackers really maximizes children's discovery because it allows them to see math in more than just an abstract concept. It really allows them to feel the blocks, count the numbers, so they can take a number 9 and see that it's less than 10 or more than 5. And it allows them to do so in a way that's risk-free. They can try new things and try new learning, and then if it doesn't work out, they can knock it over and start again.
Many of our students have the idea that math is a very difficult thing to do. They are afraid of it. But numbers are just the representation of things. So when they can see it and move it and take it, they're taking ownership of the learning. And oh, I got it. It's easy. And they come to the realization that actually math is fun.
We chose blocks because they have this fun aspect. You're a kid and it's kind of this open-ended, oh, I can build anything that I want to build. And we need that to show math because in math, operations are actions, right? So for a kid to be able to reach out and pick up a value 4 and pick up a value 6 and combine them and show that with tangible objects, they are acting math. They are showing what math is.
The Discovery Guide is a scaffolded lesson plan for teachers. So level 1, the kids get the blocks, say they're trying to make combinations of 10. They are just playing with all the blocks that add up and stack up to 10. And then level 2, they could try it with different add-ins to 10. And then at the end, just so they could practice that learning that they've acquired, they are able to play a game or a challenge. My favorite part of it is when I watch the kid with the stackers and he might not get it right, but then he realizes, and I try that again. Did that equal up to this equation? And they're like, oh, I could figure that out. Okay, yes, I got it. And just to see their eyes light up when they like, I've got it. And that's long term. It's an experience that they created on their own. And I believe that's why Math Stackers helps them have a love for math.
Math stackers can be used to teach not only basic addition and subtraction, but you can go in to teach multiplication, division, fractions, algebra. And when I began using them with students and seeing how they could, even as young as kinder, build numbers beyond 10, they began to see commutative property at a very young age. And I thought, wow, this is going to be great for them. Their foundation will be set when they get to middle school because they truly understand the concepts of math, not just a memorized formula.
What I've been experiencing with my son actually using Math Stackers is that he has been able to make connections. Learning information in isolation is just information, but when you can connect it to your real life and to your problems, then you got a gold mine. And I think Math Stackers is doing that for my son, is helping him connect what he knows.
Mathematical thinking provides a different way for kids to see and understand the world in which they live and interact. It promotes perseverance, resilience, and a passion to problem solve. By teaching our kids how to think in this way, we are empowering them to tackle new situations and problems. And as this thinking grows, we create world changers.
Okay. So that's a little bit about Math Stackers. And it looks like in the chat, we have several of you that have Math Stackers. Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Christina, Danielle. So I just love it. Love it. Can't wait to. And we are hearing too about Math Alive. Keep sharing your experiences over there. It's so cool. Lots of you are agreeing, like those hands-on experiences and that interaction with math. I agree. It's just so important. Okay, well now you get to hear Cynthia's awesome story about how Math Alive and Alive Studios came to be.
Right. So, yeah, some of you might know Alive Studios already, and maybe some of you are new. And I'm excited to share the story. Why did we start Alive Studios? It is definitely out of a need. So we had 2 girls that we birthed, and my husband and I decided to adopt 2 boys from an orphanage out of Latvia. They were 5 and 6. Brought them to Atlanta, and they spoke Latvian, and we were trying to teach them to read. Now, we taught them to speak. That wasn't too bad, but we're trying to teach them to read. But nothing was engaging them, right? I mean, we tried public school, we tried private school. I was getting worried. I thought, well, how hard can this be? And this will get to math too. And I have an elementary ed degree, so I thought I could do it. I brought in my office, I had an interactive whiteboard, and I've got the latest software. And we mostly cried together. It was not engaging. And then I thought, oh my God, how are these kids gonna learn to read, much less learn math? But one day, a young guy in my company came up to me, goes, hey, I wanna show you something really cool. So I'm like, okay. So he had a computer, he had a document camera, and he slid a piece of paper with a black square on it. He slid it under the camera, and the Eiffel Tower pops up in 3D. And I said, what is that? He goes, oh, it's called augmented reality. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of augmented reality, and this was over a decade ago. I didn't know what he was talking about. But when I saw augmented reality in action, I thought, boy, wouldn't that be cool if like a tall giraffe would come alive and start engaging the kids and my boys. And that's how this whole thing started. We created Letters Alive with 26 zoo animals, and it was very successful. And then I'm like, okay, math is the other thing we all struggle with. Can we get these 26 augmented reality zoo animals to teach math? You know, numbers and number sense and gosh, all the things, subtraction and addition. There's so many things that you can learn with math. And we created Math Alive. So I was going to show you a little bit about augmented reality live here in my office. So Kelly, if you want to unshare. So
Thank you.
All right. So I've got our new interactive zoo panel. It's you guys are probably familiar with the panel, and we loaded up our software on this panel. You can also have it on a Mac or Windows computer, and then I have my kit set up. So the first thing I'm going to show you, we've got 3 modules at Math Alive. Number Playground, which is all augmented reality. I'm going to show you that. And then we've got math games and building number sentences. And you're going to see some of the testimonies and teachers using our stuff. You'll see that. So I'm not going to show you all that. I'm just going to show you a little itty bitty piece of augmented reality. So let's go there. It's Michael Moose. So you guys have probably heard of virtual reality. Virtual is when you wear these glasses and your whole world is not real, right? But we don't recommend that for little ones. We use augmented reality. So we have these flashcards. They look like a regular flashcard, but they're not. So here's the number 2, and you'll notice there's a background. There's a picture of a barn. This is a farm habitat. So only the animals that live in the farm habitat are going to come alive. So here we go.
2 peacocks.
There's Percy Peacock, right? So there's Percy, and I can move it around. And when his feathers settle in, you can touch it.
1, 2.
Right, so I'll go, okay, so it's 2. Got my another card, 3.
3 narwhals.
And what comes after 3? We got 2, 3. We got 4. You think it's 4?
4 orangutans.
Now you're going to see a little bit about
1, 2, 3.
Mr. Ben's actually going to use this in the classroom in one of his videos. But here's a 10 frame, which is kind of cool, is you can't shake the manipulatives out. You know, it's going to stay in there, and you can change it to the number. So it's a really fun way to learn numbers and number sense and one-to-one. That is just a little bit of augmented reality. And gosh, there's, like I'm telling you, it's probably 1% of everything, but I at least wanted to show you that.
It's amazing. Actually, Donna Lee here says that she has Alive Studios and her TK students are so ready to move on for
That's
next year.
awesome. Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yes.
We got some shout outs
Thank
happening.
you.
over in
Thank
the
you.
chat. Let me come back.
Cool.
All right. So we have something extra special because we've become friends over the last many years. We each have each other's products too. So a lot of you are sharing your success stories over there in the chat. And I love that with your Math Stackers and their Math Live. We even have a couple of people already saying like, well, I can't wait to use, I have both. I can't wait to use both at the same time. Well, we have a treat because Cynthia and I both have been using Math Stackers and Math Alive with our own kids. Right now you see Graham, my nephew, up here on the screen. We were using in the playground the comparing numbers part. We started with the objects and we connected hands-on with the Math Stackers 1 blocks, finding our one-to-one correspondence, finding our quantity, then connected it to the greater than, less than relationship and the symbol on Math Alive. And then Amos here eats the greater quantity, and Graham loves it. And then from there, we move on, and I'm going to show you a clip about this part right here. We go back to the playground, and we went into the number section in the Math Alive. And this is just one unit in Math Alive. This is one little snippet of Math Alive. But watch how Graham uses his Math Stackers and then connects it. So we're going all the way from that tangible experience to the visual to connecting it to the abstract symbols.
We're going to look at it in numbers now. The 2 numbers. Drag a sign into practice to make the numbers
using that symbol.
correct. When you
So
think you have an answer, touch the green button.
Wait, what's that?
That's a mouse.
He's gonna eat it?
He is?
Still?
Yeah.
He's gonna eat it with
He is?
But except he's gonna eat the numbers?
Yes?
He's gonna eat the numbers?
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Let's find out. First, you need to use the symbols that we're just talking about. Well, what's this number?
6.
What's this number?
1.
What's the bigger number? 6 or 1? What's the bigger number? So this says 6 is the smaller number because the smaller side's facing 6.
No. That's the bigger one.
Yeah, because you're saying 6 is the bigger number. It's bigger, right? And 1 is smaller.
Now we're.
So check it.
Yes. Check.
6 is greater than 1.
Did you get it? Okay, let's try this one. But before you do it, I want you to build it with your math stackers, but you're gonna grab the 8 and the 3.
8,
And 3. We have like an 8 and 3, right?
yeah.
Which one's bigger? By how many? How many more is 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So 8 is 5 more than 3?
Yep.
Dude, good job. How are you gonna show with your symbol now? On Math Alive, how are you gonna show with your symbol that 8 is greater than 3? Meaning it's the bigger number.
That one.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. You're getting the hang of this.
Eight is greater than 3.
And we know how many more, right?
Here's a.
Okay. So engaging. He loves it. He's seeing, and I'm going to be honest, though the greater than and less than symbols are complicated for students to learn, right? And so having this interaction with the hands-on, I think we have over here in the chat, several of you are saying, wow, they do complement each other. Wendy, you agree? Because you're having that hands-on aspect, and then you're taking it to you still have the one-to-one interactive part with the Math Alive and connecting it to the abstract symbols, which is what they see on paper. So we have to connect things like that.
We have a question there too. I think Stacy was asking about small group or whole group, and it's yes, absolutely use our stuff to teach whole group, and you can work in small group. It's crazy flexible.
Absolutely. And I think we also had another question about the age group levels that this is for. And Cynthia, correct me if Math Alive is centered on pre-K through first.
Yes.
Okay. Math Stackers is focused on pre-K through 5th. Well, and we can show you more. We'll at the end, and we just don't want to get too in the weeds about it, but we'll definitely show you guys all about that later. We just want to get to Mr. Ben's part. And Cynthia has got some awesome stories to share about doing these with her grandkids.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my granddaughter, and when I play this video, you could see her making connections, right? And she's processing, and she loves using both. She'll do math stackers, and then she'll correct and check her work with one of the 86 activities that are in this math. So let me go ahead and let's play it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you play it.
Oh,
Right.
You try to click it.
Okay, so Eileen. Okay, so now you're going to use your math stackers and build a tower. Wait, do the math stackers first. So you got to build a tower of 8 with your math stackers. You can use many. You can do a 4 and a 4. There's so many different ways you can build your number 8, or you can just do an 8. Okay, so
Sneaky. I just use the 80.
just use 8. Okay, put that down.
I just use 80.
That's, what number is that?
8.
8. Okay. So baby Celine Cow, her house is going to be 8 stories tall. So now we got the zebra. How many stories tall is his building?
Wait.
Huh? Peacock, okay. All right. Is it upside down?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry guys, I just did it. I know, I'm hilarious.
That's fine. You're doing great. So that's Peacock's got a 3-story building. And then Henry Horse, what does he have?
One.
Uh-huh. He's got a little house. Okay, perfect. Then baby Zelda, zebra. How big's his building?
One.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And then Celine Cow, how big's her building? 8, that's right. Now you can check it by using,
Upside down.
go ahead and use Math Live to do the buildings and let's check it and see if you got it right. Three stories. Can't hear it. Actually makes construction sounds, but I don't hear it on here. I know, right?
There you go.
Okay, hit the check mark. Let's see.
Amazing.
You did it. Excellent. That's fun.
I love all the smiles and giggles.
Yeah, she seems to really love math too. Maybe because it's all the stuff she gets to use, but
I know.
yeah,
They've got a lot of awesome resources at their
Right.
feet. That's for sure. Okay, so we have another video, and at first Cynthia's like, "Oh, maybe we won't show it." And I'm like, "Oh, we're showing this, guys. This is one of the best treats of the entire webinar." Cynthia has been working on counting with her 3-year-old grandson, Ronald.
Mm.
And sometimes we have all been in this situation where sometimes you're like, we're good, you know what, we're going to challenge them. Let's give them a challenge. And so, Cynthia, tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, so I've been teaching him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's getting really confident with that. But in this, I decided, let's go backwards. And that was new to him, and you'll see how he responds to that. Okay, we're gonna count the numbers and we're gonna play missing number, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4, 5.
Good job. Okay, I'm gonna hide my eyes. Just hide one number. Don't make it too hard, okay? All right, I'm hiding my eyes, hide a number, and I'll see if I can figure it out. Did you hide it? Oh, let's see. There's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2. What, is it 1 that's missing? Yeah, where's 1? Is it? Oh, there it is. Show it to Nona. Yeah, we got it. 1 was the missing number. Good job, Ronald.
Oh, my
Oh, you want to close your eyes? Okay. All right, let's see. All right. Okay. What number's missing?
5 is missing.
There's 5. And that's 3. What number is missing here? You remember? You remember? Look,
I'm
Ronald.
going.
Ugh.
Peace out. I'm going.
Out.
Messed it up, Nona.
I did.
Bye.
I felt terrible. He loves playing missing number. He just loves it. And but yeah, I should have stuck with 1 through 5. That's okay.
He's like, not during the video.
After the video, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm going. You should have stuck to the plan. I love it. So just to let you all know, Cassie and I now say to each other all the time, I'm going. See ya. You're pushing me. But like he said, he came back and you can tell he loves it with the giggles.
He does. He loves it.
Oh my gosh. I've watched this video probably 50 times. I love it so much. So thank you, Cynthia, for sharing
Yeah.
your grandkids with us.
Yeah.
Okay, you're up, Cynthia. We're going to be talking about, well, right now, I guess in the chat, I want everybody over there because we're talking about engagement.
Right.
Second, Cynthia's going to talk about some brain science and modalities that all align with the science of math. But I want to hear from you over in the chat. What challenges have you faced with student engagement in math? Go ahead and just quickly pop in your thoughts over there in the chat. I can go first. I know that whenever, especially if I had a particularly challenging concept that was up, if I didn't have something that the student felt connected to, um, it's like, number one, I got to work 50 times as hard to teach this concept. Let's see what you guys say. Christine, you say that your math program is pencil and paper driven and not hands-on, but I know you have Math Stackers. Do you also have Math Alive? I think you may. I'm not sure. Thomas, you say if I learned the kids today learned it would be so much easier. Yes, one of the number one comments that I know we get, and I guarantee Cynthia hears this all the time, is where was this when I was learning math?
Well, I needed it.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Megan, you say if it's too hard, they won't even try. Kathleen, you say word problems, right? Just tackling that. If it's just pencil and paper, it is so challenging. I agree. Stacy, you agree with Kathleen. When they see a word problem, they just shut down. Shelly, teachers just give worksheets and sometimes curriculums only provide that, right? So you say sometimes they act goofy because they don't understand, right? They're uncomfortable.
You're going to act out.
Yeah, exactly. Lack of confidence. Deborah, Samantha, you say meeting everyone where they're at, it's challenging. Those who need it while supporting those who need more. Yep, exactly. Lisa, you say same manipulative counters, cubes. They just need maybe something a little more novelty in there. Natalie, do you agree with me? Do you agree that it's just so much work? Is that what you're agreeing with? Yes, 50 times harder if they're not engaged. I'm sweating it out, trying to really explain everything. But once they're engaged, and like you guys are all talking about the same thing, we're all on the same page here, right? It's so hard if they don't have this emotional connection to what they're doing. And I know Cynthia is going to get into that.
Yep. Yeah, so the power of engagement. So we hear about the science of reading quite often, but what about the science of math? And I love this because this is, what we specialize in. Science of mathematics is when you're using all these different learning modalities, visual, you're listening, hands-on. When it's novel or you're creating an emotion, right? They're laughing. They're surprised. When you're using all these different modalities, this is where they're going to start retaining it, and they're going to be able to recall it. And if you go to the next slide, Kelly, the continuation of this is multisensory learning creates stronger neural connections. So when you're learning something by visual, that's creating a unique pathway in your brain. And when you're using something, and touching things and feeling it, that's creating another pathway. So the more modalities that you're using when you're instructing or teaching a concept, the more success you're going to have. Make those abstract ideas more concrete and accessible. And then, of course, just recognizing that students learn in different ways. I know it's easy to use our own filter. Like, I'm visual, so I think everybody learns visual, and I'm not really good at a listening learner, but some are. And the more you can just use 3, 4, 5, or 6 different modalities, and that's what we're kind of showcasing tonight, the more success you're going to have with those little learners.
And you were talking exactly about that. And we've got a really awesome teacher here to share everything you just talked about, all those modalities and strategies of engagement to use to engage these kids' brains. Mr. Ben, come on. Hey, Mr. Ben.
Hey guys.
Oh,
can y'all hear me good?
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
good.
Awesome.
Excellent. We are so happy to have you, Mr. Ben. Mr. Ben, you've been using Math Stackers and Math Alive in your classroom this year.
Mhm.
We know how we met, but not everybody here knows how we met. Can you go ahead and just tell us, like, how'd you learn about these products?
Well, I was actually at a conference. I was at the Elevate Your Classroom conference. I'm repping the shirt in honor of that. So I went to that, and both you guys were there, side by side, of course. But you guys were sitting there, and it was the first day, and I was just going around and seeing everything. And I saw both the booths up, and I was like, wow, this stuff looks so much fun. I do preschool, so I was like, okay, I need things that are engaging, that gets the students interactive. And I'm like, okay, this is it right here.
That is so awesome. And then I wanted to ask you one more question before we get into your
Mhm.
awesome. Mr. Ben's got about 5 videos to share of ways he uses Math Stackers just to increase this engagement and understanding and build those connections. But we even have lots of comments over here in the chat. Stacy even saying, you hit the nail on the head. Our curriculum resource doesn't explicitly say to use manipulatives. Lots of people are commenting how, yeah, their district like requires certain things to be taught in certain ways. So I want to know, how do you incorporate these products and these engagement resources with your existing curriculum?
Well, the way we introduce it, one thing I'm very grateful, we have a director who is very understanding. She wants us to do whatever we can to help get our students kindergarten ready and help them really boost their education. And the biggest thing I always try to do is line up whatever our learning objective is. I find out what can I do with the Math Stackers, because a lot of times in preschool they want us to do a lot of the same things over and over again, which is good to a degree. But you've also got some kids, if you do the same thing over and over, they're going to get bored. They're going to get unengaged. They're like, oh my gosh, he's reading that same book again. Oh my Lord. Or there's those flashcards again. So wanting to do some of those things like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is the standard we're going to do. Like this one, count 0 to 10 in numerical order. So I'll do what the curriculum has here. But it's like, you know what? Math Stackers is a good game. I'll put this in here one day. Ooh, oh wait, I'll put in a Live Studio Zoo here. So I just kind of interchange them based on what my curriculum standards are and what they require from us at that certain point.
And I think something too that you may have had this experience, and you can tell from all your videos. What's cool about math is it's very interchangeable, right? I mean, if you have a numbers playground in Math Alive where you can go in there and move around the animals and interact with them, if you have your Math Stackers blocks, you can make that work for a lot of different, almost every standard, you know what I mean, in pre-K.
And
Expectation.
every ability level too,
Right.
because in preschool, I have 3-year-olds that have never been away from home. I've got 5-year-olds that are ready for kindergarten, and we're trying to get them a little bit ahead. And I've got kids with special needs. I've got students who are nonverbal. Like I loved it just yesterday. I was working with one of my students. He's nonverbal, but I asked, "Can you put the numbers in the right order with Math Stackers?" And he was like, "Boom, boom, boom. There you go."
Yeah, for communication too. I love that.
Let's
Okay,
get- let's
speaking
see
of putting numbers in order, uh-oh, there we go. Your first activity, and this one's with Math Stackers, and then you're going to show a variation with it with Math Alive. So I'm just going to go ahead and show, this is Mr. Ben's special missing numbers activity.
We're gonna play the missing number game. I got a blocks in here and this here. What I want you guys to do is to tell me what numbers go here, okay? Tell me what numbers missing. And we had a couple friends just do a round of this, and we're going around checking to see how we're doing. Oh, let's go back over there, please. Thank you. Yep, I know we're excited, but will everyone get a chance to do it? Do you want to? Right, so we're getting all the numbers in line here. Remember, keep the look on the bottom. Nice. Oh, sort it out. It's okay. Yeah, it's good. It's not here flat. We can work with it. Yep, 5 is right there. Yep, we haven't pulled her out yet. Okay, well, let's see. We got 7. No, he's got 6. So well, then what is the missing one? Let's count them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, go back over there, sir. Go back over there. I'll get in a second, okay? Unless someone's bleeding. What is it? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 right there.
Awesome. And then I'm going to go ahead and show the Math Alive, and then I would love for you to talk about the connections that they're making in between both of these.
Absolutely.
Go. Let's see here. Oh, at least I thought I did. I'm going to go back a slide. Looks like we've got some nice buffering happening. Let's help it out here. Oh, for Pete's sake. Like,
What if you go back?
I just did. Let's
Oh.
see, the suspense, I can try refreshing the screen. Go. Come on, please.
One video, that's all.
Well, it's such a good one. Okay, let me.
My favorites.
I know. Let's do this. Let me go forward and then backwards. Okay.
Oh, I know. Let's do it this way.
4. Jaguars.
Okay.
5. Unows. 6. Lions.
All right. What am I missing? 7. Does the 7 go right there?
7. Horses.
No. What did I do wrong? I do have to put the 6 before the 7. You're right. So I'm going to switch these guys around here.
7. Peacocks.
There we go. So switch numbers up a little bit. I'll get ready. Let's go. Yeah, it's covering up the lions. Their peacock feathers are spread so much. But I love how you noticed that, Sarah. I didn't have them in the right order. How do we count them? We go 4, 5,
6, 7.
4, 5, 6, 7. You guys are right.
I don't think I could hear the kids on it. That's what I love.
There was some parts I could hear them, and some
Yeah,
parts,
I
yeah.
know. So
Man, well, let me tell you, when those peacocks strut their
Oh.
feathers at the end, you hear, what?
right.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, also when we do the Amos alligator where he jumps up and eats the number, every time they jump and scream. But I'm just like, that means they're into it. We're just going to keep going. I could
But they
literally do that
remember
for
it.
an hour.
Right? That's that whole creating an emotion. They'll remember it for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about the connections that you saw your students building whenever they did these activities as compared to just maybe counting, right?
Well, what I like about it, it gives it meaning. And so it just says, okay, yeah, this is a 2 just because as I say it's a 2. No, it's a 2 because it represents an amount. It represents 2 giraffes. It represents 2 narwhals. Or when you use math stackers, it said you actually can see the size. The etch, it says, okay, yeah, that's 2 pieces tall. So they can see it and it makes sense. And that's the big thing that I really like about both of them is that the students can see it and it actually connects to something. It has meaning. And I think the kids like that better. And I really love they can interchange it. They can get up there with their hands. Like I said, in that video in the studio one or the Alive Studios version, I didn't have the kids come up on that one. I just had them tell me what to do. But a lot of times I will have them come up and fix it. And I think we'll see a few videos here in a little bit of them doing that.
Well, and some
And
people
I
are making, they're noticing too. They're like, oh, this is so awesome because with both of them, the kids are able to prove their answers and they're the ones
Mhm.
seeing why. Okay. So
Yep.
let's check it out. So you have a more or
Yep,
less.
this is it.
activity. Yep, where they switch around. This is with Math Alive.
Numbers, let's test how well you can tell them who they are. How many jaguars do I have? 5 jaguars. Very good. How many cows do I have? 7 cows. Okay, here's another one. Let me mix it up a little bit. Which one do I have more of? Do I have more frogs or more zebra? More zebras. Why? How do you guys know I have more zebras? Because it's 6. Okay, is 6 more than 4? Yeah. In fact, let's do that. Okay, go put your jacket on, buddy. It's getting a little warm here. I agree. All right, he said 6 is more than 4. Let's test that theory. I'm going to count up here. 1,
1,
2,
2,
2,
2,
3, 4, 4. Do I have any more frogs? No, but do I have more zebras? Yeah, so that tells me right there that I have more to count, more with 6, because I've got more zebras left over. Here with the frogs, I got nothing left to add to it. Y'all did pretty well with this. I'm telling you what, I think we're going to do one more, and then we're going to move on to some different, because I think y'all are just crushing this now.
And they were crushing it. In there, Mr. Ben. We have some comments over here, and I kind of want to ask you, because even this, you're taking the time to do these supplemental to your curriculum, because you are teaching your district curriculum, just like you already said. And we have a couple of people kind of reaffirming this over and over again, like, man, so many of my teachers feel like they don't have time to do these types of activities that you're doing, Mr. Ben, or use manipulatives at all. And then they get frustrated that the kids don't remember math facts or skills that they were taught previously. Diane says, you know, it's good to move slowly at first so you can move faster later. There always needs to be time for manipulatives to teach or reinforce concepts. What are your thoughts about that and your experience with Math Stackers and Math Alive?
I definitely think it's good to interchange them. And like I said, because I think it keeps the kids engaged. One, both resources are really engaging. And the fact that you can interchange them both and that they accomplish the same task, that's really a great benefit. And that's why I love to use both of them in the classroom, because I can do just about any topic, interchange them, and the kids still get the same concept. And, people always say that they say because, well, I just don't have the time for it. Find that concept and you can interchange it. And the kids really like it. And I know a lot of like I said, our district, that's the big thing with them. They want results. So when you have the data to back it up and say, look at what my kids have learned by doing this, they're like, okay, let's keep doing it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. And here you have friends of 7 and 8 with Math Stackers. Do you want to set this up for us real quick?
Absolutely. So what I do in my classroom, each table has 3 to 4 students on it. We call them our teams. So each team gets a bucket on a numbers, and they're going to use the Math Stackers to find the friends of it, which means what 2 numbers can go together to make that other number. So you can see there I went with the dry erase marker and I wrote on each table a different number. So this group, they had the number 7. And I do different ones based on my group. So I have some students do 5, some students do 10, just depending on their level.
Differentiation.
And I love that because I can differentiate that and really help all my students. I can help the students who are really understand those basic adding concepts, and then the students who are like, okay, what else you got?
Okay.
And so this is a great way for them to do that. Let's see.
I love that.
We're going to be finding all the friends of 7. How many can be stacked up to make 7? Okay. So he's got a 5 and what else, sir? 5 and what?
Way too big.
Too big, you're right. So let's throw in another one there. Well, a 2. Okay, can we borrow the 2, ma'am? Let's see. Whoop, Sarah, back up there. All right, so 5 and 2 are friends of 7. 5 and 2 are friends of 7. Are friends of 8. So we got 2 and 6, 3 and 5. You guys are right on that one. What other ones could we do? We got 7, and what else we need? Oh, this man's got one here she's bringing in. 1. Yeah, we got the one right there. Let's make sure we got the one. We got one more. Okay, what is that one?
2.
Oh, what number is that? 4. So let's put a 4. Okay, we're out of blocks here. But I might go get you a block. But what block would go there? What block would you need? How many spaces do you need it for?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, let's count it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
And there they are with them all found. I love it. And just like people are pointing out, your kiddos know they can self-correct, right? They know like, oh, okay, that wasn't it. I'm just going to try this other one. And I love that because that's what math is all about. You do such a good job, Mr. Ben. You have lots of compliments over here in the webinar chat. And we're going to definitely in just a little bit show you where you can follow along with Mr. Ben on Instagram. But before we get to that point, okay, I'm going to do what I did before. That apparently worked. Let's see. I wonder if I can just hit it and it'll. It's just, maybe it's just, we have so many people who
You know,
want to.
while you're doing that, I can say something because I noticed this with my granddaughter. If kids feel like they can't make a mistake, they won't even try, right? And there's that whole confidence thing. But
Absolutely.
if you let them know that that is part of the learning process, make mistakes, that's a good thing. And then I noticed the whole shift, and that's so important because they learn very young. There's that whole identity. I'm a math person. I'm not a math person. But it's so good that they're making mistakes. It's part of the process. It's fun, and then that will carry with them as they grow up. So I'm glad somebody brought that up. It was really good.
And that's the one thing I do a lot of times with kids. I'll put the math stacker, I'll do the wrong block. And you want to make kids feel smart, let them tell you, Mr. Ben, you don't have the right one, or that's not it.
Right.
And not only does it build their confidence, but also you can show them, okay, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
We're gonna carry on from it. And so I
Mhm.
really love doing that with the kiddos. And like I said, both of them can self-check. I think someone asked earlier, I saw in the comments, like Amos Alligator, where he jumps and eats it. They say, what does he do when they hit the wrong one? He just jumps up and goes, mm-mm.
Mhm.
So that's what I like about both of them too. They're both self-checking. So if I wanted to, I could turn the students loose on it, and they could do fairly well.
Right.
So awesome. And here, the last video that we are showing is you using math stackers where they're building the Friends of 10, and then you connect it with the number sentence augmented reality builder in Math Alive. All right.
All right, so we got 3 and 7, 9 and 1. We got here 8 and remember that it's gotta be flipped over. There you go. All right, so is 8 and 4? Is that gonna work? Too tall. What about 8? 6 and 4. Perfect match. There you go. So we got 4 and 6, 3 and 7.
Time to connect it to the
That's
number
the 3,
sentence.
somebody right there. That's an 8. That's an 8. Where's the 7? Can you help them find the 7? Push right here. Yep, that's the 7. So pick that one, sir. Put it right there next to it. All right. So 7 cows and 3 narwhals. Let's see if it equals 10.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Does it? Yeah, we got it. 7 plus 3 equals 10. 7 and 3 are friends of 10. Very nice.
It's so awesome. Did you see, because you're using both of these products together, what was your experience about the learning process for your students, taking it from the tangible all the way to being able then to connect it to the number sentences on Math Alive?
I think the coolest thing about it really just hammers in that whole concept of no matter how you look at it, a 2 is a 2, an 8's an 8. So whether I'm combining it here with math stackers or I'm combining it with the animals, it's the same concept. They're getting the same concept. It's just a different mode of it. And I think that's the biggest thing to help, especially, like I said, I do preschoolers. I think that's the biggest thing to help little learners is to just bring in so many different ways to do the same concept.
Yeah,
It
I
keeps
love
them
it.
engaged. It boosts the connection. And like I said, it creates that connection of knowing, okay, no matter what, 2 is this much.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's so many ways you can see it. Go ahead, Cynthia.
talk about little learners, but when we have this at shows and stuff, and we're using augmented reality, we have older kids, 4th, 5th grade, who are fooling around with it again because it's cool, it's engaging. So even if you're working with intervention or trying to teach a concept, you can use these tools to help win over these concepts with the kids again because it's so engaging, it's so different. So you can just
I also say it works on 30-year-olds as well because when I met you guys at Elevate, I think I spent like 30-45 minutes at y'all's booth just messing around with the stuff and things. And when I first got it, we had some kids look up. I was like, back off.
this is mine.
I want to try it for. And my assistant, she's the exact same way. We take turns just as much as the kids do with it. She loves it as well. She's like, oh, I want to try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you got Chris put into the chat. She says she is truly amazed at the depth you take preschoolers. They will definitely be ready for kindergarten. And I agree. I love watching what you do. We wanted to ask everybody, and while I give you time to kind of think about your response, I'm going to show you where to follow Mr. Ben. What did you notice about the way students in Mr. Ben's classroom engaged using both Math Stackers and Math Alive versus traditional methods? Go ahead and put your responses over there in the chat. While you guys do that, and you guys have been putting it over there, which is so cool. You guys are an awesome
You
group.
guys have been a great audience tonight. So
Do you see right there on Instagram? And Instagram is where you mainly share your ideas, right, Mr. Ben?
Yeah, I'll occasionally do it. I'll occasionally put some YouTube videos on, and I'll put the links on my Instagram channel. But if it's a longer video, like I did, I'm getting ready to do one about how to set up a classroom for the furniture for preschool. But as a general rule, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram. I do, like I said, the Math Stackers. I use the Live Studios, both the math and the letters version.
Perfect. So you guys can find that. It's Mr.Benz_classroom51. You can go and follow him right now and access that. I even saw a couple people or several people over here saying they already follow you and have gotten ideas of how to use these resources for that. But let's go over to the chat. Let's see what
Thank you,
people are
guys.
saying. Yeah, thank you. People are saying, Mr. Ben, they went right to work. They had a lot of conversation and discourse. They worked through the CRA pendulum. Loves it. That's from Stacy. Laura says they connect the concepts with touch. Christy, you say it's hands-on, it's powerful learning. Megan, you know, they were excited and they loved it. Michelle, they see, they touch, they remember. Lee, they were actively building the numbers. Sue, they could connect the concepts. Laura, they're very engaged and excited about the lesson. Chris, you notice fixing mistakes. They've all got the chance to do it with both of those products. More and more and more. And Diane, you say Math Alive has the numeral and word form. Math Stackers has the numeral and one-to-one correspondence if they need a count. They're just great compliments of one another. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot more in there. And we're going to go back and read. Cynthia and I.
It's 8:59, so I was trying to.
Oh,
guess we'll need to move
all
on.
right. So you may be asking yourself, a lot of you said here, like, I need to add this to my classroom. I need to add this. And here's the answer of where to find these products. If you want Math Stackers, the only place you can get them is mathstackers.com. If you want Math Alive or any of Live Studios products, head to alivestudiozoo.com, get them there. And we definitely want to bring something to your attention because this is the easiest time to get materials for your classroom because it's end of year budget season, meaning your school, your district, more than likely has a stash of cash they've been holding up all year to figure out what to do with. And now they have to use it by like the end of next month, something. They all have different deadlines. So make sure to reach out to your admin. I know LA and Cassie have an admin letter for each for the Live Studios and for Math Stackers, and they're releasing it over there in the chat. You can access those letters here. You can just pop your name in there, dear so-and-so, you know, you can customize them, use it to get these resources. You can share, everybody's going to get this replay tomorrow. You'll also get your PD certificate tomorrow, but share the replay with them. Share this with them. And Mr. Ben, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll see you very, very soon. We love what you're doing in the classroom, and I'm sure you're going to be back on, hopefully, with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. This was a lot of fun. I thank you guys and thank everyone who was watching. I appreciate it. I was keeping up with some of the comments as best I could. I loved, thank you guys for the love. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's well deserved. That's for sure. You're doing an awesome job, Mr. Ben, and we will see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I will see you soon.
Bye. Bye.
You know, and I'll just add real quick. So if you go to our website, you can learn a lot more. There's a lot of videos on there because I'm literally Math Alive. It was hard to see, you know, from a distance, but if you go to our website, you'll learn a lot. You can even talk to our consultants, education consultants, and you can get a private Zoom demo if you need something like that, if you have particular questions.
Absolutely. And, you know, with Math Stalkers, if you have any questions, we're going to stand on after. I just want to make sure we're honoring your time. We can show you, I know we mentioned Math Stalkers U, our exclusive PD platform that has, you know, all sorts of webinars and tutorials on it. We can show you that later. Keep in touch with us. If you have any questions, we have the emails right here of where to contact each company. If you need us to complete vendor paperwork, anything like that, we can do that for you guys. Keep in touch with us on social media. We have our tags there.